Today I will talk about a short film by Australian screenwriter and director Tin and Mr., which was released in 2016 and immediately attracted the attention of the internet. The director himself admitted that he wrote it inspired by his girlfriend's sarcasm. The girl, who had suffered from severe depression, said that her condition was like a dream in which everything was fine, but as soon as she woke up, she was overwhelmed by pain that she compared to a sucking abyss. And the main task in her life became the ability to hold on and not fall into this abyss. In the first frames, the ocean is powerful, frightening, overwhelming with its force. Huge waves as a symbol of inevitability roll in one after another and seem to make it clear that if you run away from one, the second will surely catch up. The young woman hears the sounds of the waves as she comes to her senses on a smooth, curved concrete surface. She is on the verge of a moment and a flight down into the frightening blackness, and above her only an unfriendly sky separates her from inevitable death. Only one wrong move. So, focusing on her difficult situation, she looks around and tries to turn her face toward the wall, but her foot slips and she almost falls, so she abandons this attempt and lies back down, taking a deep breath and looking at her hands. Her right palm is torn. The rough concrete has stuck her fingers together with blood. Her young hands slide across the wet puddle. The girl wipes her palms on her clothes and blows on the wounds. She does the same with her other hand. Her obedient palms allowed her to grip more firmly. She pulls herself up a little. The main thing is not to rush and not to give up. She repeats the action again and again. A few centimeters up, she can only help herself with one leg. The two are folded naturally, and attempts to pull her up lead to the threat of falling. And here she notices the same bloody marks on the opposite bend, which means that someone else was also desperately clinging to life. She tries again to pull herself up and looks at the bloody marks, which clearly show how frantically the person tried to hold onto the wall, how they climbed. The girl fights for every centimeter. She simply has no right to give up, and in her case, is not just a saying. And when the hope of salvation becomes tangible and almost real, it starts to rain, washing away the traces of her predecessors. Her body slides down and she screams in despair, but no one hears her cries for help, and no one rushes to help. The girl rips a large chain from her neck and wraps it around her arm, trying to make a kind of spike out of it, and again leans her hands against the wall. She has no right to give up. The last frame is empty and virginally clean. Only blackness below and the sounds of the ocean. The film is symbolic from the beginning to the end. The viewer knows nothing about the heroine, who she is, how she got into such a desperate situation, what this place is. The author explains nothing, leaving it up to each viewer to draw their own conclusions. So this is also an allegorical film. People are, of course, different. Some, when faced with a difficult situation, prefer to simply wait for it to resolve itself. Some pull themselves together and take action, climbing with their last ounce of strength, while others choose the easiest path and are ready to jump into the black abyss. One thing is clear: even when on the brink, a person has a choice to give up and fall or try to climb up. Even if their hands or soul are in great pain, you can never doubt yourself and your abilities. A person must go to the end, to their goal, even if no one believes in them.